course, today it is February 21st, Saturday. Thank you for tuning in. This is Bruce Leonard Leans Left while it's still legal. Still legal today, but it's a fluid situation at all times. We're following things are changing rapidly. That's part of the chorus of this. We change every day depending on the mood of the dear leader wakes up, the mood that he's in. He wasn't in a very good mood because he got slapped down by the Supreme Court, but we'll talk about that later. It is
Yeah.
Saturday, and as you know, we're lucky enough on Saturdays to sometimes have my friend, the host of History on Fire podcast, and history professor Daniele Bolelli is with us. Thank you, sir. How are you?
Good, good, good.
Good, good. Yeah,
Shall we play with our what we said last time, like the utopic scenario where everybody has like a universal basic income, man is not a concern, and you can how would you fill your days if money wasn't a concern? If you didn't have to work ever in your life?
I think that I would do what I did, but what I have always been doing, which is I would do stand up and music. Uh,
Hmm.
I probably pick up painting again, like I used to paint.
Yep.
I never was good at it, but it's very like meditative, therapeutic.
Yep.
Um, writing.
Yep.
I've always been a person that filled my day up anyway. Like
So you're thinking primarily like the arts in a way, writing, painting, music, stand up, like a whole bunch of different art forms, and just, dedicate yourself to that and fill your days with a lot of that.
I believe so. Um, I think that kind of thing will still be in demand. I don't think that if people have more free time, they're going to want more music to listen to. They're going to want more books to read. They're
Yeah,
going to want more.
that's where I wonder, like as far as where AI is going, because it's like clearly AI will be able to crank out content like there's no tomorrow. So I'm curious to how much there's going to be a demand for human content instead versus AI generated content. Because in terms of quantity, there's no argument that AI is going to crank out content like there's no tomorrow. The question is, where will the demand be?
Plus, though, don't you think it'll be soulless content?
I mean, so yeah, but like give you an example, and this is one of the things that pissed me off. So I see, I don't know, it was like a month or two ago. I see on YouTube, when they give you the suggested video, like check this out kind of stuff.
Yes.
So he suggests this video, and it's all about like Delta blues, and I'm like, sure, let's listen. I start listening. It's really damn good, like really good. And I look it up and I'm like, huh, what's going on here? And I see that it's like a 2 hour album. I'm like, who the hell does a 2 hour album? That's a long ass thing. It's just,
Right.
and and then I start looking
Three
and I'm like,
minute Delta Blues songs.
yeah, like there's no name here, and I start digging further and it obviously becomes clear that it's all AI generated. But here is the worst part. I go in the comments, and every other comment is absolutely enthusiastic by people who clearly haven't caught on to the fact that it's AI. And the comments are the worst. I mean, there's stuff where some guys like, this is what it's about. Forget all the other gimmick. It's one man with his guitar just pouring his soul into the music. And you're like,
It's a
no,
robot.
that's not a man putting his soul into the music. It's a machine that stole the soul of like 300 men, mixed it together and spit it back out, and the outcome is really good. The music was fantastic.
It
But
was. No, that's what I was
absolutely,
going to ask you. So the AI generated vocalist
yep,
had feeling. I
absolutely.
mean, enough feeling to fool you to
Yeah,
thinking
I
like,
mean,
oh, this is a man. Like,
Yeah, this is where it's at. Like and of course it's gonna change in 6 months, so it's gonna be different. But like right now, AI writing kind of sucks. You can always tell when it's AI writing. It follows certain formula. It's most of the AI that I see, it really shit in terms of writing. Again, it's probably gonna be different in 3 months. But right now, I can always tell when it's AI. Now, most people can't because they don't spend enough time reading or writing or anything like that. But to me, it seems pretty obvious, and it's not that's a high quality. Music, on the other hand, tends to be really damn good. Um, or even like yesterday, somebody played a song for me, and I was like, I'm kind of catching on that it may be AI in terms of the melody because it was very formal-like. It followed a fixed structure very clearly. But the voice, man, the voice was amazing. It had so much texture, it had so much, and it clearly like they tweaked it to give me like 25% Amy Winehouse, but with a twinge of this, and has an amazing voice. And this is now. So of course, in like 5 years, I would expect it to be spotless. And the question is, when you have really well produced art that is AI created, will people still instead demand, you know what, fuck the machine, I want the art that comes from a human being? Or they will be like, I don't care. It's whatever. It's tough for me to consume. So what do I care? It's like I don't care if it's man-made or
It'd
machine-made.
be like like a dystopian novel where AI has taken over the world and like live performances are banned, and
Right.
so they happen in like basement fucking
Well, or you can
hidden speakeasies where people gather to watch a human
yeah,
being perform. And they go,
or
well, if anyone finds out about this, we could go to jail.
that would actually be the cooler version. The bad one would be when robotics is good enough that you plug in AI music into a robot that play fantastically for as many hours as you want, and they can do live performance better than a human can. You know, and
It's
that's
like
what's
a
pissed me off about
souped up version of the Chuck E. Cheese band. Like,
yeah, right. That's what's pissing me off about AI. That I want AI to pick strawberries and cure cancer and find a solution to. I don't want AI to be doing music and like the stuff that we would want to do if we had all the time in the world. That's the last place where I want AI to go because that's the place where what human beings would want to do if they were free from drudgery. I don't want AI to take over that space. I want AI to take over all the other spaces.
well, see, you
And
just made it even more depressing because I didn't consider that part. I mean, you know what I mean. I thought,
yeah,
okay, you shut the whole world down, nobody's working, everybody can, like I said, and then be like, well, that
yeah,
space just opens wide up.
yeah,
Like okay, so you could fill your time with creative endeavors.
right.
But like I said, if the AI is taking over all the creative endeavors as well,
Yeah,
uh,
that's the. I mean, and that's I think is where it gets interesting because it's let's say that AI does that, which it's already doing, just more so and better. So there's going to be two questions. One commercial, which is will people demand human created art or they will be perfectly happy with AI stuff? And then the other question is even assuming that AI completely takes over the market, because I mean, like, why do you even need Hollywood movies if you can just tell AI, hey, give me cast this actor, and this other actor, and give me Pulp Fiction 2 right now? Okay, yeah, I just watched it right now after 2 hours. Give me Pulp Fiction 3. And it cranks it up as many times as you want. So let's say that it kills the market. Should it still, is it a human thing to just say, yeah, well, fuck it, maybe nobody will ever see it, but I want to do my paintings and write my books and play my music and do whatever, regardless of the fact that it may have absolutely zero commercial outcome, because AI has taken over that part.
yeah, but I believe that there's millions of people like that right now.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
millions of painters just sitting at home painting
Yeah.
pictures. I'm sure some that are very beautiful. that
Right, of
that
course.
have just never been discovered or
Yeah,
made commercially available. Like
yeah.
you ever gone into like a local coffee shop or a restaurant? Sometimes they'll
Hmm.
have paintings on the wall that are
Sure.
like from local
Yeah,
artists, and
yeah,
they'll have like a little $75, price tag
yeah,
on it. Right? Well, I'm
totally.
saying that person's not making a living doing that.
No, definitely not.
It's so
Yeah,
so. I don't think you'll ever stifle the urge for people to do art, um,
right.
because real artists, it's inside of them to do it. You know.
So,
Um,
okay, that remains at least as a human passion, if not. And I think it's interesting because, yeah, you will have the fact that, when the quality of AI created stuff will become insane and you have to work your whole life and you're never going to be able to be as good as the AI. It's interesting because then the drive to create will have to be just the drive to create because it makes you feel good, and not because you care about the outcome of the project, because there will be no outcome because nobody's going to read it, nobody's going to listen to it. It's just your thing. It's
I've always had a theory about that.
yeah,
Even now, is I believe that if you're an artist
yeah,
who's creating something with
hmm,
the idea in mind
yeah,
that, let's say, I'm going to write a song that's going to make the top 40 radio
sure,
or
sure,
whatever,
yeah,
then you're not really an artist. You're what I would call a commercialist.
sure, sure,
You're
sure, because
somebody
it's about
who's trying to create a product to sell.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Whereas an artist is just expressing himself in his
sure,
various medium and
yeah,
doesn't really care about
hmm,
the outcome. Like I mean, even this, I do this now because I can't go around and do stand up like I used to do.
sure,
And
of course,
just sitting around my house doing nothing was driving
right,
me insane.
yeah,
I have to get, my brain doesn't stop working.
yeah,
So it's like I have to get this out some way.
yeah,
So I created this, and really this is an outlet for me now. Now, if the show has been growing and if it turns into something, that's
sure.
good. But that was never like
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
thought of
That's not
it.
the point. Yeah.
Was like, oh, I'm gonna create this show and I'll be the next Benny Johnson or whatever. Like or Joe Rogan or whatever. Like if that was to happen, that would be cool. The same as stand up. Like I don't
Yeah.
tour around doing stand up thinking I need to get on Saturday Night Live or I need to get on this or I need to do
Sure.
that.
No, and I think it kind of reminds me of like Tibetan monks when they make the mandala, like the sand painting, and it's this super intricate sand painting, and they spend days doing it, and it comes out and it's amazing. And then they sit around, they look at it for a little bit, and then they sweep it all up.
Yep.
Because the idea is it's all impermanent anyway, and the point is not the creation, or rather it's the creative act, not the outcome. And that's interesting in itself. That's cool. I'm done with that part. um I think some of the stuff also I would like to do are like skills. If I had all day to do whatever the hell I want, like I would like, well, a bunch of physical stuff, all the stuff to stay in good shape, whether it's strength training, cardio, things like that, to just feel like you live in a healthy body. But then I think I would be interested in a bunch of things like I would love to learn more about growing my own food. That would be satisfying to work that process, to see that food that you planted from seed by the time it reaches your dinner table. That's like a cool thing. So I would enjoy that. I would enjoy, I think, things that like can make you feel good quickly, like learning. Like if everybody around I was and people around me were like really good at massage, for example, that would be pretty damn good. Every on a regular basis, you can give each other like high level, professional level massage. I'm like, that would improve the quality of life. It's like it's an act of love to do for somebody else. It feels awesome to receive. It's like that would be fun. The I don't know. It's like these are some of the things that in that scenario I would start just jotting down stuff of like, okay, what things would make me happy? You know, what things would how would I fill up my day with stuff that feels good to me, that feels good physically, that feels good artistically, creatively, that fulfill you in one way or another. You know, those are all things that I would be that I think would be a lot of fun to have the time to dedicate to stuff like that, you know. And
Yes, but that's assuming that people aren't like we were talking about last week, where people aren't just laying in some VR closet,
of course,
like that would necessitate like people turning off the shit
yeah,
and like having human relationships,
absolutely. And I
and
think
that
a
may or
lot
may
of
not happen, you know.
absolutely. I think a lot of people would never bother because it's work and it's hard. And it's like, why do I want to learn how to do that where I can activate the brain chemicals that feels the same way by just going into my VR machine and having this thing pre-made? I don't have to work for that. It's simple. It just comes to me. That's it. So I think that would be extremely widespread for sure. For sure. There would be a lot of that stuff. I'm just thinking, like, what would be some of the antidotes to not end up that way? Just not be glued to the machine
You know,
constantly.
the darkest possible answer
Yeah,
to that question is that people would be like, we need to destroy this, and you would get like resistance groups gathering together, like the Matrix, kind
sure. Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
figuring out like, okay, how can we destroy this, like, you know, attacking data centers or whatever, like, you know, trying
Yeah,
to cut into the AI however they can, you know,
yeah,
skirmishes here and there, um, militias, you know, things like that. It'd be much more militant.
yeah.
Um,
No, for sure, for sure. Even though, I mean, there's another level that, yeah, it's fucking up humanity. But then there's also a level of like, you know, if 3 billion people want to be glued to their AI drug, is it really my thing to tell them, no, you should go out, live in the three-dimensional world? Or is it just like, hey, everybody got to make their own choices? You know, it's like, I don't know. It's tricky because on one hand, yeah, do I think that that's a good choice? Absolutely not. But do I, you know, real three-dimensional life is hard. Do I really want to yank somebody away from their machine that makes them creates this illusion of happiness that they can go through or not? I don't know. I mean, that's an interesting philosophical question.
the real philosophical question, I believe, is, are you even alive at that point?
Right, of course.
Like, you know what I'm saying? They
Yeah,
go, well, you're alive. Well, technically, you're alive. Your body's alive and you're breathing.
sure.
But like, if all you're doing is laying around, living in
Yeah,
this digitally created fantasy,
yeah.
are you really living?
Right, right,
You
right,
know what I
right.
mean? Like that. What is life at that point? You know.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Uh,
Yeah, the other part, in fact, would be, but that for that you do need human beings, is you could spend a ton of your days just having parties with your friends. And I don't mean just parties like woohoo, craziness. I just mean like just, you know, sit around and chatting and going to the beach and listening to the waves and having a conversation and doing the things that make humans human in that way of just human interaction with other people and that have no goal, you know, that there's no goal to it other than the pleasure of the company itself, you
we
know.
did that at on during the pandemic
Yeah,
on
exactly.
Tuesday evenings.
Yeah.
Some other comedians would come to my apartment and we'd
Hmm.
sit out on my deck
Yeah,
and we'd just have a drink or smoke a
yeah,
bowl and just talk.
exactly,
And
exactly.
it made me think about like this is what life must have been like
Precisely,
people that were going out west or whatever, like they
precisely.
didn't have TVs or radios or any of
Yeah,
that shit. So
thought
their only fucking entertainment was interaction with other people
exactly, exactly.
and
So
whatever
that
work they were
could be
doing, you know. Or,
That could be. By the way, in case you can tell, I'm desperately trying to talk myself up into not seeing AI as the ultimate doom and gloom that I think it is. But I'm trying to imagine scenarios that are less absolutely depressing, because the ones that I picture are really depressing. So I'm very strongly trying to imagine something other than the horror of it all. So that's my current goal. Is like, let's think of possible
You know,
alternatives.
my
Maybe,
mama was. We were talking the other day, and I told her, and I was serious. I mean, it sounds shitty to say it, but I was like, "Mom, you're getting out like right at the
yeah,
right time,
yeah.
because anything after this point is going to be a complete shit show of absolute
Yeah,
horseshit. You know, like,
it's
and
not looking great.
we're gonna have to
So,
live through the next like 20 years of this shit. And
right.
the change of it is gonna come more and more and more rapidly.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Because I heard somebody
But
talking about that today. They were talking about people are starting to realize like that there's going to be a decimation of a wave of all these white collar jobs are going to get wiped out
demolished,
and
demolished.
and and now I hear people besides Bernie
Yeah,
going, hey, maybe we should talk about this. Like we were
I know.
talking about last week. It's like
Yeah,
that the most depressing part about it is none of these governments in this world seem prepared for what's going to happen.
nope.
And when it happens like practically overnight, well, what happens
Yeah,
then? You're just going
yeah,
to have a bunch of decimated people.
exactly. Yeah. No, it's coming fast for sure.
And
But
they said no
yeah, man,
plan whatsoever. Hmm.
let's think of ways that it could work out well, because otherwise, yeah, it's too depressing. I spend too much of my days thinking about some of the horror of it all, and it doesn't lead to good places. So
Right?
need to hang on to some image of what it can be in a way that's not total shit, where there are pockets of places where it's like, hey, that could actually work out well, or this part could actually.
Well,
So,
I do think that you'll get commune like break-offs of
mhm,
people who decide that this isn't life, this isn't
right,
living,
yeah,
and so they'll break off and form their own like satellite communities
yeah,
where people are living like the past.
yeah, that could be
Like you said,
great.
like where people are growing food and like a
Yeah,
collectives where
that could be great.
it's like commune like activity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that could be fantastic. Actually, that
And
could
they
be a
say, well,
good
we
outcome.
don't have AI here. We don't have TVs here.
Yeah,
We
of
have
course.
thrown all technology off and
Yeah,
decided to go back to the primitive way of living.
right.
Like I do think that you'll have a segment of the population that will drift that way.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think it's possible to suck everyone in. I guess is what I'm
right,
saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
there are still going to be people who
Yeah,
have enough intelligence and soul. See, having
mhm,
intelligence isn't enough. As you can see, some of these people,
yeah,
they're
of
intelligent,
course.
but they don't have a fucking soul.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they're monsters. But you're always going to have intelligent people that also have souls.
right,
And
of course.
they're going to create some kind of movement. I think that will splinter off. And
Yeah.
and now and this is where it gets like you want to get real dark. Then the tech people will be like, we can't have this. We need to
Of course, of course.
send
All
the
are,
robot hunters after them.
yes, under our control.
But you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's like,
Yeah, totally.
like
No, that makes sense.
the
That makes
Peter
sense.
Thiels or whatever will be like, this is a threat to us. Like everything's a
Yeah,
threat to those people, the people that are
of
trying to
course.
control everything. You're like,
No, of
well, these
course.
people will eventually, could crack our control on things. Like
Mhm.
so it'll become like a proxy war. Between
Terminator, yeah. Which of course,
the
yeah.
technologists and the more primitive type people.
Yeah. In which case you're screwed, because yeah, like, the technology. Already the technology of war is changing in a way that if you are behind, you're completely screwed. You get smoked in a second. So that's a
I
little
thought
problem.
that happened like last week, didn't it?
Yeah. We
Like in
discussed it.
NATO had the war game, and
Yeah.
Ukraine's
Exactly.
just
Precisely.
wiped them off the planet in like 10 minutes with
Precisely.
drone attacks.
Some drones.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, of course. Of course.
the old way of like columns of tags and things. It's just like it
Yeah.
just doesn't work anymore. It's like,
No, I know, man. Well, speaking of three-dimensional world, I'll engage in my act of civil disobedience by walking my dog, which is his time, and he's letting me know that this is his time. So send you a big
Thank you.
hug. We'll chat more in the next few days.
Thank you, my friend. Hey, are you gonna release your new your Rome shorts soon?
I think I need to have a fuckload of episodes backed up first because especially if it's gonna be weekly and it's half hour, it's so easy to fall behind if I'm working on something else, and before I know it, I just burn through all the episodes that I pre-recorded. So I think the goal is going to have almost a year of material ready to go, so that by the time I start, I can hopefully not fall, like I can keep ahead enough and be okay. So I did episode 19 that I prepare. I haven't released a single one. I think I'm gonna try to go for like 40 to 50, and then when I get there, that's when I start releasing. So I think that's part of the current mindset about it.
Okay, cool. I'm just asking because I'm excited to hear
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's coming.
that.
It's gonna happen. It's just I think I'm gonna load up a little bit more
I know. I
on
think that's smart.
yeah,
Like I
on
said,
everything.
you don't want to start coming up against deadlines,
No,
and
exactly. That becomes a nightmare
it
then.
becomes pressure
Completely.
on you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
there's
yeah.
stress. It's like
Absolutely, absolutely. So I
I
don't
get
want to
that.
do that.
All
Cool,
right,
my
my
man.
friend. It's
Have a
always
good
nice to
one.
talk to you.
Great talking to you.
Yep.
Bye bye.
See you. Daniele Bolelli, everybody. Okay, I'm sorry, Fifth Element and JMG. I don't respond to the comments when I'm interviewing Daniele because I just like to get into the conversation and to wrap. And it is an interesting conversation. Like, what is going to happen to this world? Because, like I said, it's going to start rapidly changing in way. I mean, I tried to boil it down of like how much change has happened just in my lifetime, and even that is, 40 years of time. Where like this AI is going to start changing. Where every 6 months it's going to be bang, 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 bang. And I do believe that to be the case because all the things I've been reading have said it took them a long time to get to this point. And when they first turned it on, it wasn't very smart. But now it's already 1,000 times smarter than it was when they started. And in another 6 months, it'll be another 1,000 times smarter. And I said it's to the point where it's really going to start taking your jobs. And what do you mean? Fifth Element said humanity's been dividing from Atlantis days, if it existed at all. But you know what I mean? Yeah, kind of. Um, the tribal thing is what keeps us apart, and that is why I'm good. Probably. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. Um, I feel like what does that mean? Fat? I'm, a, I'm a little fat. I'll give you that. A little chunky. I'm not like obese, but I've definitely picked up some winter weight that I need to get rid of. But the thing is, there's no plans. Nobody has any fucking plans to do anything. And we keep electing these old men who don't know anything about technology. It's like all they know is to count the checks and the money. Ronaldo or Messi, they're both great. It's like Bird or Magic, It's like take your pick. They're two different kinds of players, but they're both great. Uh, and I'm not a big soccer person, so I can't really speak on the technical aspects of the soccer. um, I just know, like I said, what do you mean, Iraq's fifth element, not low class or mid class? I think that there'll just be two classes. There'll be elites and there'll be peasants in this new world. And we're not elites, my friends. If you're sitting here right now watching this show, you're not an elite. I'm sitting here doing it. I'm not an elite. And even if I were to achieve success at doing this show, and let's say I got millions of viewers on YouTube and they started sending me lots of money, I was making money, I'm still never going to be an elite. The Epstein class of people in the Trump administration should show you this. All these people were born rich. Right? You go, how these morons got so much money? Is that because they were born with money? It's all they've ever done was sit around and think about how they could make more money, and that's all they've ever done. And that's why they're stupid about regular everyday things, because they don't know anything about regular everyday things, because they're fucking billionaires. That's the thing I find the most humorous, is all of these regular jerk-offs that think that these people care about them. It's like it's like if the sheep were helping to feed the wolves, you know, that it's like, well, we need these wolves. And Comrade Carl's like, any idea where I could buy a 6'6" cowboy, multi-use preferably? I would suggest Craigslist or the dark web. I don't know how dirty Craigslist is anymore. Like, it used to be dirty. Like, you could get anything on Craigslist. I mean, you probably still can, but I mean, like, there's been lots of murders that happen in Craigslist of people ordering male hookers or whatever. It turns out to be just some person that kills them. Stupid common man. Hello, thanks for tuning in. I guess we should talk about the Supreme Court ruling. Supreme Court finally weighed in. It took a long time to weigh in to answer the question that we already knew the answer to the question, which is the Constitution clearly states, as we've said on this show, literally in words, that Congress has the power to levy tariffs, not the president. That Congress controls the purse strings of the government, not the president. Rascott says, the ones with the money control our lives, the beverages, the food, the culture, and with the internet they can control what future generations think. Yes, and they are already. There was a study already that said that Musk's tweaking of the Twitter algorithm to the right has helped push young people to the right, has helped create more young Nazis, etc., etc. Because the internet is just a brainwash machine, that's all it is. Iraq's Fifth Element says, after all years of being alive, I realize so much, but not many can understand such things as whole lives most people spend casually in common. Yes. Yes. And a lot of people don't think deeply. You gotta understand that too. Like my theory that I said, most of the human race are just hairless monkeys. And that's why they do hairless monkey type shit. Because they're not deep thinkers. You know, there's a very small percentage of human beings with the real capability to think deep intellectually. Most other people are Rascott says the right or the left never mattered. Now see, on that I disagree. It certainly matters who's driving the policy or running the government of your country. Comrade Cat, I would say very limitedly. This probably is bad for the fur. And I don't mean that Hank or whatever. You could say that, but that's not what I mean. There's plenty of stupid fucking white people, bro. You can try to pretend that all you want, that you're better than other people, but you're not. We're not. And that's when you talk about that kind of stuff, as a white person, that's the first thing people do is try to attack you and say, oh, you must be ashamed to be white, you're talking, about this. Like, no, I'm not ashamed to be white, it's just the truth of the matter. Like, white supremacy is a myth, it's made up. Like, the only thing white people are better at is being fucking ruthless. Yes, John says some kid flipping a bottle and getting 10 million hits is proof that we're fucking stupid. Yes, exactly. It's like we were talking about like idiocracy. Everybody sitting around watching Ow My Balls, you know. But it's like, have you ever sat and thought about just how much space in the internet ether sphere is filled up with just complete fucking garbage? Why can't you spell anything correctly, bro? And no, I'm not gay, or a Jew, or a gay Jew, or whatever it is you think I am. It's like, you know what I'd tell you this much? You guys got a lot in common about being unoriginal and totally fucking clones that don't have any original thoughts whatsoever. You're the hairless monkeys I was referring to earlier. So I just said, John, like the one thing white people are better at is being fucking ruthless. How do you get by? How do you get past being an ignorant fucking jerk off? You just be ruthless as fuck. Take people's shit and dare them to stop you. You know. From what? What does Israel need freeing from? Seems to me that Israel fucking does whatever the fuck it wants, and nobody stops it. Fifth Element says, just keep pushing what makes you feel doing the right thing, brave soul. Thank you. Appreciate that. This show is really just to think about stuff. Smoking crack. Never smoked it. I've snorted a lot of cocaine, though. I mean, look at this. It was made for... It's like the Kirby vacuum of cocaine, this nose. It's like... We were talking about that last night when me and Laura went and saw Nine Inch Nails. Nine Inch Nails, if you have not seen it, amazing show. I had never seen them before. No, you cannot. Although I will give you that one is more clever than the most. Look, you haven't spelled one thing correctly. Why is that? Hank Potvis. It's like no, I know. I seen it, Julian. I told you that guy did that to me one time. I was like, okay, you got me one time. That's it. Like you're a fucking moron if you keep falling for the same thing over and over. It's like, you're like someone that watches Benny Johnson or Alex Jones. Or like, this guy's been lying to you for 25 years. You're like, I only go to Alex Jones to get my news. It's like, no, you can't. First of all, that's not your name. And second of all, like I said, I'll give it to you. It's more clever than really. Gas Nice says I look like his boss. I wasn't even gonna call him Ray because that's not even his name. Although, like I said, it is clever. Well, what do you eat, Sassiver, that gives you so much gas? So lay off the falafels or whatever the fuck. Anyway, Nine Inch Nails is an incredible show. I had never seen them before, and they were on the list of. Well, you've been here for 45 minutes now, so I don't know what to tell you. That's awesome, John. How old am I? I am 54 years old. I just turned 54 years old in December. If you just came on, yeah, no, he doesn't get it. He can't spell either. He can't spell anything right. It's like every comment he's made has been misspelled. It's like, man, it's unbelievable. This show, um, uh, exists because I used to be a touring stand-up and I could not do stand-up anymore. So, uh, because my mom got ill. I lived in Las Vegas and I was a touring comedian. But my mom got ill and stepfather passed away, so nobody to take care of my mom. So I had to give up my stand-up career and move home to take care of my mother. And then, like I said, in the course of just sitting around not doing anything, I was going crazy. So I was like, I guess I'll start a fucking podcast like everybody else. Which is why I didn't have a podcast, because every comedian has a fucking podcast. It's like cliche. So I never did it. And then, like I said, circumstances forced me to create something that it just emerged out of necessity, I guess. Plus, these are crazy times we're living in. And then we didn't get to finish talking about what we were talking about. The Supreme Court turned over Trump's tariffs, and which we knew that they were going to do because clearly it's unconstitutional. But the part that you have to understand is that 3 justices on the Supreme Court basically said that the Constitution doesn't matter. And all the nutlickers in Congress basically said that the Constitution doesn't matter. And that Trump should be allowed to do whatever he wants to do. Regardless of what the Constitution says. Now, many of these people, like Clarence Thomas, said, if Justice Alito was alive today, he wouldn't be alive today because his head would have exploded from these people who are just ready to throw the Constitution right into the trash can. Because whether you agreed with Alito or not Alito, what the fuck was his name? Scalia. Scalia was what you call a constitutionalist. Like, he would read the Constitution and try to interpret it literally. It's like a fundamentalist Baptist or religion would read the Bible and try to interpret it literally. He would try to interpret the Constitution literally. And the Constitution literally says that Congress has the authority over the money, over the Treasury. They control the purse strings, they control tariffs, not the President of the United States, unilaterally. Now, the President of the United States can propose some tariffs and the Congress can approve them. See, this is the problem. This is what I never understood in the first place is Trump and MAGA control the White House, the Senate, and the House. So why didn't they just cognify his tariffs into law? They could have easily done that. You know why they didn't? It's because deep down inside, these nutlickers know that this is a terrible policy, that it's bad, but they're afraid. Yes, Julia, that's right. And he can't spell. Everything is misspelled. It's like, I guess he's trying to stay off the YouTube radar for saying bad things, but I mean, like, just fucking say what you got to say, you know. It's like a bad bot. It's a bad troll. It's like nothing worse than a bad troll. If you're gonna troll, be good at it. Come here with half-ass trolling. It's like, I was a professional troll at one time. You gotta understand it. I got myself thrown off the internet because I was so good at trolling. Who are those? Dylan. Who are the Zog people? Enlighten me. See, occasionally people say things and I'm like, I don't know what that means. And I'm not afraid to say that I don't know what it means. See, that's the difference between me and lots of people. I won't sit here and bullshit you. If I don't know something, I'll tell you I don't know it. And that's not true at all. I don't sit here and foment revolution. We're just talking and thank you, Babu. So I look like a Wallace and Gromit character. Thank you. Here's Justice Gorsuch on his reasoning. He says, for those of you who think that it's important for the nation to impose more tariffs, I understand that today's decision will be disappointing. All I can offer them is that most major decisions affecting the rights and responsibilities of the American people, including the duty to pay taxes and tariffs, are funneled through the legislative process for a reason. Yes, legislating can be hard and take time. And yes, it can be tempting to bypass Congress when some pressing problem arises. But the deliberative nature of the legislative process was the whole point of its design. Through that process, the nation can tap the combined wisdom of the people's elected representatives, not just that of one faction or man. Their deliberation tempers impulse, and compromise hammers disagreements into workable solutions. And because laws must earn such broad support to survive the legislative process, they tend to endure, allowing ordinary people to plan their lives in ways they cannot. When the rules shift from day to day, in all, the legislative process helps ensure each of us has a stake in the laws that govern us and in the nation's future. For some today, the weight of those virtues is apparent. For others, it may not seem so obvious. But if history is any guide, the tables will turn and the day will come when those disappointed by today's results will appreciate the legislative process for the bulwark of liberty that it is. Right? This is what people fail to understand. You can't have, hey, I got the 100 message cup again. Thank you. Yay! We have some kind of like celebration. I got to get a horn or something and blow. We get the cup. We got the cup. Hey, we got some activity on the show. Doesn't always happen on Saturdays because Saturday viewership is up and down because it's Saturday and people got shit to do. I said before, I don't expect people to sit here in front of my podcast on a Saturday. It was nice outside. So 6-3, they said that the tariffs are unconstitutional, which they are. Okay, that hits Trump. What happened today? With the two United States Supreme Court justices that I appointed against great opposition, Neil Gorsuch and Amy Coney Barrett, whether people like it or not, never seems to happen with Democrats. They vote against the Republicans and never against themselves almost every single time, no matter who good a case we have. At least I didn't appoint Roberts, who led the effort to allow foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years to continue to do so. But we won't let it happen. The new tariffs, totally tested and accepted as law, are on their way. So his answer to being told that he's overstepped his authority is to just overstep his authority again. Trump is what you call, what they referred to on Chappelle's show as a habitual line stepper. You draw a line, he's going to walk across it. You draw another line, he's going to walk across that. He's going to keep walking until you stop him from doing it. Period. So here was his other response today. On a Saturday, no less. He's so fucking fired up, but they told him he couldn't do something that he's working on Saturday. That's it. Based on a thorough, detailed, and complete review of the ridiculous, poorly written, and extraordinary anti-American decision on tariffs issued yesterday, after many months of contemplation by the United States Supreme Court, please let this statement serve to represent that I, as President of the United States of America, will be effective immediately, raising the 10% worldwide tariff on countries, many of which have been ripping off the U.S. for decades without retribution until I came along. To the fully allowed and legally tested 15% level. During the next short number of months, the Trump administration will determine and issue the new and legally permissible tariffs, which will continue our extraordinarily successful process of making America great again, greater than ever before. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Here's another one. Those members of the Supreme Court who voted against our very acceptable and proper method of tariffs should be ashamed of themselves. Their decision was ridiculous. But now the adjustment process begins, and we will do everything possible to take in even more money than we were taking before. You must be really bored, Hank, to just sit here and for a whole hour and just spew bad misspelled one-liners in a vain attempt to insult me. Yes, Trump is like the Commodore 64 of presidents. Yes, technically it is a computer, but it's pretty fucking useless and stupid at this point, isn't it? It's like... No, but here's the deal. Watch the nutlickers. The nutlickers don't seem to care anymore about the Constitution. That's right. This is the part about the Trump era that I don't understand is these people in Congress, they know the Constitution. They know what it says. Well, I mean, some of them. A lot of them. No. But they're so cowed to Donald Trump, and they can't, their whole identity is wrapped up in groveling and licking this guy's balls. That's become the Republican identity. It's a I don't know what you would call it. We're it's like a group of, it's like baby bird syndrome almost, except it's that they're all trying to lick the guy's balls, you know. It's like a nest of grown men who are groveling. Oh, no. Me next. It's like, they call themselves alpha males. Well, at the same time, groveling and worshiping this piece of shit old man pedophile. That's like, and willing to throw away every principle that the Republican Party has ever held. I'm glad you can make it, Laura. Thank you. Jimmy says Republicans no longer resist. That is true. I've been saying that for a while. They're Nazis and Nazi enablers now. And if you didn't lead the Republican Party, and you're still a Republican at this point, you're with the Nazis. And I've been saying that for years and years and years. And people, you can't do that. You can't. That's a false choice. It's like, no, it isn't. The real choice you've made is to support fascist Nazis. Because that's who's taking over your party. Christo-fascist Nazis. Pete Hegseth had that guy speaking at the Pentagon. That preacher who thinks that women's right to vote should be taken away and they should be put back into servitude and slavery should come back. It's okay. It's like, this is the Klan, bro. Well, Jimmy, I was with you on that. I was with you on that. What do you mean name a car for an edit? Any car? Porsche 911? What's that, my friend? Neo-Gen Empire? Tell me what the National Socialists are. I already know what you're going to say. You're going to give the bullshit to Nash D'Souza right-wing fucking gaslight that the National Socialists were really left-wingers, you know, even though they killed all the left-wingers in their fucking country. They only put the name socialist in there to fool fucking stupid jerk-offs like yourself into thinking that they were left-wing. We've already been over this, Nix. Thank you for tuning in, but I've already been over this. I turned 54 years old in December. We talk about all this technology and the change, the rapid pace of the world. Like, I was born in a sweet spot where, like I said, there were no computers, there were no cell phones when I was born. I watched all this happen right in front of me my entire life. And like I said, now it's changing every 6 months or a year. It's going to change rapidly. The AI is going to develop faster and faster and faster. No, I did not. No, I don't support Ali Tusa. I don't support Americans attacking Iran. That's what I'm saying is Trump ran on no new wars was one of his slogans. No, that's not true. But I did have a great aunt who was born when there was no cars. It was horse and buggy. She died in the early 2000s. So, and she had a flip cell phone. So she was born with no electricity, no cars, and saw all of the change that happened all the way up till she had a flip cell phone when she died. That's she saw everything. Jimmy says, "What the hell is this guy talking about cars? We had better cars back then than you got now." Yeah. Everything's disposable now. It's a disposable product, isn't it? Like I said, they don't make the cars like you've ever seen. They're starving the Cubans now, and they don't have any gas for these cars. But in Cuba, they have all these 1950s cars, and they all still look brand new. Unbelievable. Yes, John Ruby. I was talking about Geneva. And Geneva, I forgot that's your relative too. And Geneva was born when there was no cars. It was just horse and buggy. They were talking about it when she died. And I agree, Alatusa. Okay, listen. This is where the Iran regime is terrible. Yes, it is. But to overthrow a country is not easy, and you can't just bomb them you can't just drop bombs on Iran and they're going to change the regime. It's not going to happen. You got to have a war, a long, protracted, bloody war. And there's already many factions inside of Iran who are armed. That's what I mean. It's easy to say that regime is evil and needs to go. Okay, that's what they said about Iraq. Well, what happened? I would argue that the outcome was even worse because that created the Islamic State and all this other stuff. It destabilized the region more than it stabilized the region. Now it's just Saddam Hussein, a jerk-off prick. It should have been gone, yes. Am I, sorry that Saddam Hussein is gone? No. But the way they went about it, and Trump doesn't even have any, plan. He has no idea. If any of you nutlickers that are watching right now that love Donald Trump, please explain to me what the objectives are in attacking Iran and what he plans to achieve by doing so. And what happens after that. It seems like that the Venezuelan thing just came and went and it's gone now. It's almost like the Venezuelan thing was like practice for this is the big show, They're going to try to do what they did in Venezuela, in Iran. But who are they going to give the power to? I saw they pulled the Shah of Iran's son out of the closet, like they've been keeping him on ice somewhere for the last fucking 50 years. And here he is, the son of the Shah. Remember the puppet we tried to put in charge before? Yes, and then they threw him out, and that's how the Islamic uh, Republic came about in the first place. Yes, well, we have his son. They're just going to run back the same play again? Is that the fucking plan? Look, you always should support troops because troops are usually just poor suckers, poor suckers who got drafted or. Yes, exactly, John. What happened to that Venezuelan crude? What Scottish rebel says you cunts pulled the same thing in Scotland? Now that's English people. Don't don't tell me. Yes, Alitos, that's what I'm telling you. Are you in Iran right now? Or are you just an Iranian person who's watching from somewhere else? But that's what I mean. See, he says that's the thing that's awful for me and 90 million Iranians is that we don't know what he wants to do. Exactly. Well, we don't know what he wants to do, and he's our leader. Nobody knows. Because he doesn't have a plan. He's just vague concepts of many plans. Yeah, I just saw him last night. If you haven't seen it, you are in Iran. Hey, listen, I do wish you luck and well. And I am sorry for all this. I wish that you could understand. I don't know how we got to this place. I have no idea. I tried very hard to stop. Right, Alito says, I say he doesn't know himself too. Right, exactly. And I agree with you that these people are terrible. Okay? The Islamic regime. They're awful. They should go. But what happens after that? Would it be better? Would it be worse? I mean, a civil war? I really don't think that they can just drop a few bombs and then roll the Shah of Iran's son in there and say, oh, here we go. Yes, Jamma Mammas, you're right about that. The military-industrial complex got us to this place, yes. We were warned about that as well. Eisenhower warned about it in the 1950s. Yeah, I could if I keep going. I'm already over an hour now. What's up, Xavier? They call someone Reza Pahlavi to be the king. Yes, you're right, Jamma Mamma. We are run by pedophile murderers. We are. Who are murdering people right now in our name. You don't know how helpless it is, how you feel helpless sitting here. Scottish Rebel says, I'll tell you what happens next. England gets flooded, but USA converts to Chinese, while us Scottish continue to drink, bro. Neanderthal? What? I think that the Neanderthals was like the first example of how Homo sapiens would just roll over and and kill anybody who's not them. It's like, he says he served 2 years in the Grand Force military of Iran, and the things that they do are awful. Yes, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm saying, of course, I do. I mean, why would you think I didn't? Jamma. Yes, I do. I served, I'm saying is yes, it's awful, but what do you propose? Like I said, we have a president who has no plan. Yes, it sounds like a video game or something, right? Grand Force Iran. I'm just saying, it is terrible. Jammin' Mama says, have you heard the 2 cigs, 2 beers, and 2 Rubik's Cube challenge? It's badass. Yeah, no, I don't. Come on, you don't gotta get like that, Jimmy. Have some respect for these people. That's what this show is about. Respect. You know, and you see people come on here, they try to insult me, and I don't get all heated up about it. You know, this guy did that last week. He came on, he just tried to insult me the whole time, and by the end of the show, he was like, oh, you didn't take the rage bait. You and like we left, and then we started actually talking, and we left with the modicum of respect for each other. I'll look it up, Jam. I'll check it out. I never could solve Rubik's cubes too much either. Like I had, everybody had one back in the day. It was that the Rubik's cube was like viral before there was viral. Like there was always things like that. Like Cabbage Patch Kid, that was a viral thing before there was viral. It was like people, the thing that everybody had to have. And I don't know how they pulled these things. That and the another example is Marilyn Manson. Removing his ribs so he could suck his own dick. That was like a viral rumor that went around when there wasn't even an internet. That's absolutely true. You can look it up. There was no internet. Yet somehow, kids in the middle of bumfuck Indiana knew that Marilyn Manson may or may not have had his rib taken out to suck his own dick. Yes, Beanie Baby being another example. Yes. Well, like I said, that rumor started before there was even an internet. Somehow it spread across the entire country. Yes, it's Alabama. And he heard it. Yes, because everybody heard it. It was a viral, I said, it was viral rumor without the internet. This shit's always been here. Like I said, it was like the internet just supercharged it. It's unbelievable. It's one of them things, right? Who hasn't tried, right? Exactly. Just have a bit about that too. It's like, there's lots of things that people have tried that they don't want to talk about, but they've fucking done it, and they say they haven't done it. They're fucking lying, Fried chicken yesterday says, Bruce, you slut, what do you know about L. Jeffrey Epstein? I know he's best friends with Donald Trump for 15 fucking years. And Donald Trump to sit there and stare into the camera in your face and tell you that he's been totally exonerated by all these. I don't believe that, Scottish rebel. If Ukraine was cooked, they would have been cooked already. As a matter of fact, they're making gains, not losses. Russia's losing 30,000 something people a month. You can't keep that up forever. You can't subjugate people that don't want to be subjugated. That's my point about Iran. You can't. Attacking Iran is just going to drive more people to the regime. Now, will it be enough for them to stay in power? I don't know, but people are going to rally around the country of Iran. It's just like the other day when they tried to kick that guy off Colbert, right? And in turn, he just got more views and more donations than he would have ever gotten if they would have just let Colbert air the interview. They created an issue where there was none. It's the same thing with this Iran. And Fuck the English. Yes, Jammer, it's a distraction from the Epstein files. We know that. Going to war in the Middle East is our favorite distraction. Yes, Julie, been getting thinking about North Korea. You know, this sucks. Is it's over an hour now, and there's a lot of people on here watching, and a lot of talking going on, and I really don't want to end it, but I can't just keep this show going on for hours and hours and hours like Joe Rogan. Yes, Jammin, that is true. And you also have a class of underclass bootlickers who agree that this system is good the way it is, and that the rich people really have their best interests in mind. And now, as insane as that sounds, it's true. It's just what I was saying about the nutlickers. Like, their whole personality and identity revolves around groveling in front of Donald Trump and seeking his approval. So therefore, even though they know that these tariffs are unconstitutional, right? They're going to come out because Trump said it was bad. They're going to come out and say these justices are bad and they should let Trump do whatever he wants. And here's the answer: if you really believe that, go to Congress and make the tariffs legal. But see, they don't want to do that because they don't want to sign their names onto the tariff policy because they know it's fucking stupid policy. And this is the yes, Julian, we tear it down. The system is broken. It doesn't work. When half of the Congress won't even exercise their own power, it's broken. You know, the judges in the justice system, in the judicial branch of the government is the only thing that's propping up freedom right now. Because they're not letting Congress just giving it away. And now I'm going to let him start a war with Iran. That's illegal too, isn't it? Yes, Jamma Mamma, and that's what it is. Christian fundamentalism. Christian nationalists. And, like I said, right-wing bigots. Who truly believe that they should be masters of the world. Because God has deemed it so. They really believe this. Yes, Jamma, loyalty is prized over thought. That is true. Yes. 100%. It's very sad to see. But listen, I want to thank each and every person that's here right now. Because I said I started this show from nothing last year. We're coming up on, I said, about a year that I've been doing this. And I literally started, like I said, with like 5 people watching. And this show has grown exponentially over the year, and I thank you for that. If you just stumbled onto this show today, I'm here every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, United States, whatever time that is in whatever country you're in. The guys in Iran, I don't know what time it is over there. Thank you for watching in Iran. I appreciate that. And in all the other countries where people have been watching, I appreciate that. If you want to send me a private message, it's Bruce Leonard Leans Left at outlook.com. You can send me tell me I suck, tell me I'm great. You want to have a conversation, you want to be a guest. I'd love to have this guy that lives in Iran on as a guest and talk about this situation, because I don't think a lot of people really consider all of the layers of the situation. John says, loyalty, no, it's subservience. That is correct. Nutlickers and subservience. What? Come on with the 1955 fucking communism bullshit. There's not even a real communist state left in this fucking world. You still guys still keep using the same old fucking shit. It's like, we need to evolve our thinking into the future. And communism is not the thing that's a threat anymore. The oligarchy is the threat. These billionaires just buying the fucking world, and whatever. We're gonna talk about it. I don't know what that means, but anyway, again, like I said, if you stumbled onto this show today, you never seen me before, like I said, please like the channel, subscribe to the channel. That helps. Drop a comment. Like I said, thank you for all the comments today. And as you see, I do interact and I do listen to what you guys are saying. And you can participate in this show. I've always wanted it to be that way. No, but it's not really a full-on communist state anymore either, is it? It's like a capitalist hybrid. You know, it's not your grandfather. You know, it's not Chairman Mao's fucking Communist Party. It's an authoritarian capitalist fucking oligarchy, really. That just communism is like kind of lame and fucking, like I said, a lazy fucking interpretation. You know. Anyway, I got to get out of here. But way over. It's 1:15. The show is called Bruce Leonard Leans Left while it's still legal. So why would you even ask if I'm right wing? Of course not. Yes, but socialism is not communism. Here's the fucking homework assignment for you, Holocene. Go home tonight and read some fucking books. Communism and socialism are not the same thing. Of course, you know, like I said, it's very easy to simplify all these things and say that. Thank you, Jamma Mama. And like I said, I love you guys too. Thank you for watching. And like I said, I'm here Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States, every week. I'm professional and on time. And if you subscribe to this show, I will be on at those times. Unless there's a special occasion. And then I will announce it beforehand. To make a scheduling input. Thank you. No, it doesn't. Like I said, read some shit and come back on Tuesday. Thank you, Holocene. Thank all you guys. Go out and enjoy yourselves this weekend and come back on Tuesday. Thank you. Good night. Oh, and thank you to Daniele Bolelli.